Hey guys, today's video is just a quick kind of rundown of investing. Investing seems to be a pretty hot topic that everybody kind of knows that they should be doing, but there's a lot of questions around it. How do I do it? What should I look for? What should my goals be? I don't feel like I have enough money to invest, and where do I start? As a financial coach, that's one of the number one inquiries that we have when people reach out to us is, I'm looking to start investing, but I don't know where to get started. I know I've got some options at work. I know about the IRAs, but I don't really know any details about it and that type of stuff. So I'm just going to spend a couple moments just kind of quickly going over some basics on investing. That way you guys will know how to kind of get the ball rolling is maybe the best way to put it. So number one, the first thing that we always teach is you want to be debt-free. The purpose of being debt-free is we want to free up as much of your income as we can. The purpose of investing is long-term. The last thing you want to do is start putting a bunch of money in your investment account and then have to take it out because you are ill-prepared for an emergency. You will cost yourself in compounding interest, which I'll explain in a minute, more than had you just dealt with it in another way. There's a process in building wealth. The first part is eliminating debt. There is no reason to invest at 10 to 20% when you're paying 30% on a credit card or 28% or whatever it is. You want to free up your income. That's number one. Number two, you need an emergency fund to prevent the aforementioned issue of cashing out your retirement account to cover an emergency. The emergency doesn't need to be a crazy amount. It needs to be somewhere about 3 to 6 months of your expenses in case you become unemployed. You don't need your income. You need your expenses. So now that we've spent a couple minutes kind of covering the basics, this is how we do it. Number one, we start looking at what kind of investment options we have at work. Most companies offer some type of 401k. So your 401k will typically come with a match. We recommend starting with 15% of your household income as your investment goal. That's really where you should be at. And I'll explain the 15% in a moment also. What you want to do is find out what your company matches. If they match 3%, then put 3% in there because it's free money, and then go outside and open up a Roth 401k and do the rest. Now, the preferred option for investing, even in your work 401k, is using a Roth. Some companies offer Roth, some companies don't. So you're going to want to find out, does your company offer Roth contributions? Now, there's one thing to know about that. Even if your company says, yes, you can contribute in a Roth, your match is still going to be traditional. That means it's not going to be taxed right now, but it will be taxed when you pull it out. The contribution from your work cannot be Roth, but your money can be. So this is what you're looking for. You're looking for investments that you can pay the income tax on what you contribute, not what your contribution becomes. For example, if you contribute $100 and that $100 becomes $1,000, do you want to pay tax on the 100 or on the 1,000? You obviously want to pay tax on the $100. So that's what the Roth does. It says, I'm going to pay it today, so in the future, my growth isn't taxed. All traditional IRAs and traditional 401ks, you're going to pay tax on the growth, not what you put in. The rationale behind this is the expectation is I want a tax break now when I'm younger and I've got all these deductions like a house, childcare, and all this other stuff, so I can lower my taxable income. So when I'm older, when I don't have all these deductions, then I won't have to pay as much tax. But I would rather pay tax today on the 100 rather than pay tax later on the $900 margin. That's what you're looking for. So, number one, we get out of debt. Number two, we build an emergency fund. Number three, we cap out our match rate at our company, going into Roth if possible. Number four, we open a Roth IRA and we max it out if you can. As of 2020, you can contribute $6,000 into a Roth IRA. Now, if you're over the age of 50, you can contribute $7,000 with $1,000, with an extra $1,000 being what they call catch-up contribution. This is something that we highly recommend, up to 15% of your income. Why do we recommend 15% of your income? Because if you're running your budget properly, this will leave enough money so you can still be making progress in other areas of your life. 15% of your income should allow you to make extra payments on your house, to eliminate your house, to make contributions to a child's college fund if you are in the situation where you're doing that, and to reach other financial goals. If you want to do more than 15% because you're doing catch-up or some other factors don't apply to you, you're perfectly fine doing that. But we always recommend a baseline of 15%. That's the general reason. Now, the other thing that we want to look at is we want to look at 4 types of mutual funds. If you notice, I said mutual funds, not individual stocks. The reason for this is because mutual funds are not as susceptible to the ebbs and flows of the stock market. A mutual fund takes a group of companies tied together, and those companies are what make up this mutual fund. So for example, you could have a mutual fund that has, let's say, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Walmart, just for a random example. What you're looking at inside of these funds is, what do I think Coke, Pepsi, and Walmart are going to do? Do I feel like any of them are going to go bankrupt? Do I feel like they're going to be going up in value over the next 5 years, let's say, is your investment horizon? Or do I feel like those 3 companies as a whole are going to regress? If I feel like they're going to regress, then I'm going to go someplace else with my investment. But if I feel like those 3 companies are doing good and are going to continue doing good, I would put my money in them. Now, a mutual fund is made up of numerous companies. In most cases, it's not just 3. It's actually, on almost never cases is it only 3. There's many, many companies. So when you go shopping for mutual funds, you want to find out what makes up this fund. These funds are broken out in growth and income, growth funds, aggressive growth funds, and international funds. Those are the classes that you want to be shopping in. The other thing is you want to look for its history of rate of return since inception. This video is being recorded in 2020, so we've got 2016 to 2020, technically 2019, of the off to the moon raise in the equity prices that we've had. So these are some of the things that we want to look beyond. I don't care what it did 2016, 17, 18, and 19. I care what it did from 2000 to 2020. I care even more what it did from 1990 to 2020. And now I'm real interested when I'm seeing what it did from 1960, 1970, 1980. I try to find funds that I am happy with the companies in them, that have the longest track record, that pay a minimum of 10%. If the fund doesn't pay 10% on average over, say, 40, 50, 60 years, I'm probably not going to buy it. Because when I put my money in it, I want to be able to kind of loosely say, set and forget it. I know this fund, after we go through all the ebbs and flows that the last 50 years have had, is going to basically average out about 10%. I can deal with 10% when I don't have to stress about, oh no, the whole market's dying. Oh no, the whole market's going to the moon. Did I get in the right thing? I'm not really interested in that. I'm interested in setting my money someplace that I know it's going to be and watching it gain. That's what you want to look for. We are looking for things that will build our wealth and create financial freedom in the future that we don't have to freak out about. When the stock market dives, I pay attention, but I don't panic. That's what we teach people to do. Yes, you can get 37 or 45 or 57% rate of return on individual stocks. You can also chase and watch your $500 go to 30 cents in about 3.5 seconds. You're not going to run into that problem in mutual funds. They are more secure. But you got to do some legwork. Go out to Vanguard, go out to Fidelity, look at what they're doing, look at what their expense ratio is, and educate yourself on it. Never, 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 never buy any mutual funds or anything, real estate, stocks, bonds, or anything without understanding it. That's the biggest thing. I invest in real estate and I invest in mutual funds because I understand those two, and I lean more towards real estate because I understand real estate better because my wife and I own a real estate brokerage and we're both licensed agents. We've kind of spent more time wrapping our head around the real estate world, so it's our natural bend, I guess you could say. If your natural bend is mutual funds and stocks, there's nothing wrong with that. But understand what you're getting into and don't simply do something just because somebody else said to do it. So a quick recap, because this was intended to be a relatively quick video. Number one, we get on a plan with our budget. Number two, we eliminate debt, so we've actually got money to invest. Number three, we build an emergency fund, so the money we start investing with, we never have to touch. Number four, we start looking at what kind of options are available from our employer and our 401k plans, taking advantage of the Roth if it's offered. In addition, number five, we also go out and we start looking at Roth IRAs, so we can start investing potentially up to $6,000 or $7,000 for 2020, depending on your age. And then we start looking at mutual funds. If you do this over time, compounding interest will make you wealthy as long as you can control the person in your mirror. You guys, I hope you guys got some value from it. I'm gonna end the video right here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to give me a shout. You can reach me at chris@cleardirectionfinancial.com, and I'd be honored to speak with you if you have any questions. Otherwise, keep learning, because that's the only way you're going to make it to where you want to go in your financial goals. Bye, guys.